Namaste everyone, Jai Bhagwan. Today we will be discussing how to rejuvenate immune response in elderly. So as we all know that immune senescence or aging of immune system is quite a common or inevitable consequence of aging process. It's one of the most recognized consequences of aging. The decline in immune function, especially the production of B and T lymphocytes from the bone marrow, and even diminished function of mature lymphocytes in secondary lymphoid tissue. So, if we see the basic, feature of immune senescence or aging of immune system, which will be projected in an individual through specific symptoms like weakened antimicrobial immunity, susceptibility to respiratory infections, reactivation of chronic viral infections like shingles, impaired anti-vaccine response, insufficient protection against malignancies, and predisposition for unopposed tissue inflammation like arthritis, neurodegenerative diseases, atherosclerotic diseases, and even failing in wound healing. So these are the cardinal signs of immune senescence. So do we have anything to offer? The thing is, we have multiple things to offer, but none of them works as we expect. So in this scenario, yoga comes into the picture. As we all know that yoga is a mind-body medicine, and it is one of the most effective tool to enhance psychoneuroimmunological access in a positive direction. So based on the evidence, here we have compiled practices for the practitioner to enhance, even if we practice these practices for 60 minutes a day, it enhances and it boosts our immune response. Simple loosening exercises for the joints, from micro joints to the macro joints, from head to the trunk, and followed by Surya Namaskara, sun salutation for 5 minutes, breathing practices like hands in and out, hand stretch breathing, Setabandhasana breathing, and sectional breathing. So these are the breathing practices just for 15 minutes. Yogic postures are asanas like Tadasana, Ardhakati Chakrasana, Ardha Chakrasana, Baddha Konasana, Pavanamuktasana, Paschimottasana. So these are the few asanas for 20 minutes, followed by deep relaxation or any relaxation practices for 5 minutes, and 10 minutes of pranayama practice, which includes simple nadi shuddhi, alternate nostril breathing, and humming bee pranayama. So this would suffice the immune modulation requirement. If we see, these practices have the potential to increase antibody titer in response to influenza vaccine. So that is where we are failing in this current scenario. In elderly, vaccinations won't work that effectively, but these practices have been found to increase the antibody titer post-vaccination. So that is something very interesting. And even if we see the anti-inflammatory effect of these practices, because inflammation has a great impact on immune response. Yoga has played a very crucial role in not only people who are suffering from the disease, even people who are in the risk zone or people who are highly prevalent for such inflammatory component, and not just enhancing the immune function from one direction, from multiple directions, even we can deal the risk factors which influences immune function. And if we look at the mental health scenario, as we all know that chronic stress, anxiety, and depression, these are the three major mental health challenges which suppresses immune response. As we grow older, we tend to become less resilient to stress, we become more prone to anxiety and depression. So by the practice of these simple yogic techniques, it has been found that GABA aminobutyric acid levels have increased significantly, and there was a drastic reduction in cortisol and catecholamine. These are the stress hormones which are not so good for the immune modulation. And these practices, yogic practices, have downregulated the stress response, and along with that it has promoted the melatonin secretion. So in that way, melatonin cycle along with reduction in the cortisol and other catecholamines have enhanced the normal immune response. So 60 minutes per day practice have a greater potential to increase the antibody titer against vaccination in elderly, and it covers multidimensional support for a resilient or a better immune response in elderly. So I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.